guys, we back with another one. Today we got to talk about Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. Smith, and Skip Bayless. Now, Stephen A. Smith went on the Joe Budden show, and he dropped a mega bomb that I don't know if everybody knew about Shannon's departure from Undisputed and the way that it went. I thought that it was a mutual parting, but I did know things accelerated pretty fast. And the way that it happened seemed like somebody getting let go, at the conclusion of the NBA Finals, because I know Shannon being contractually obligated, if they wanted him longer, he would have had to stay. But they made it happen really fast. But in the fashion that it occurred, it's kind of shocking. I think, to put this in context, Joe Budden asked him about going for Shannon Sharpe immediately after he became available. So check out what he had to say.
The second that Shannon became available, and I like that you did this, by the way.
Right.
I like that you,
right.
I make no qualm, I would like him over here. I like that for the business. But for the Skip stuff, I was like, oh, no, that's a jab. That hurts. You're going to go after the co-host so soon. You didn't care.
I didn't look at it that way.
Got it.
I would have looked at it that way if Shannon left of his own volition. I'm telling you he didn't. I'm telling you he was pushed out.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Well, I'm telling you, and it's fact. Now, they can deny it. He wouldn't. I can promise you that. He was pushed out. He didn't want to leave. He was notified that your services would no longer be needed. But again, that's his story to tell.
Course.
But I'm telling you what I know. I'm giving you facts. And so when I saw that, it wasn't just that I know the brother's talented. It wasn't just that I know he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion and an NFL Hall of Famer. It wasn't just that I knew that he had been doing television the last 6 years. I saw me from the standpoint of I was let go in 2009 and left for dead. And they were writing my epitaph, and they were like, Stephen A's career's over. He blew it. He had the opportunity of a lifetime. He effed it up and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, there was nobody in the present day Stephen A. Smith's position as the guy in sports media, as the executive producer for the #1 sports morning show that could speak up for me at that time. And I said, this is why I'm here. It's my responsibility. So, it's nothing new. When you look at Swagoo, Marcus Spears, and you see his new contract, when you see Ryan Clark and all the things that he's doing, when you see a Kimberly Martin that was an NFL reporter and now she's on television, when you see a Monica McNutt and all this stuff, like, you know what? I'm at a point in time where if I don't want you on First Take, you ain't coming on First Take.
That's it.
And if I don't want you on First Take and you ain't coming on First Take, the likelihood is that you're going to have a problem getting on television because that's the #1 morning show. And if Stephen A ain't feeling you for that show, why should we feel you for X, Y, and Z show?
So it looks like to me that Skip was in on this revamping thing after the blow up. We thought that Shannon expedited the process of his release, but it sounds like it was Skip Bayless behind the scenes, man, and that's very interesting. We saw the reports that was saying Skip was having a hard time finding new hosts and different things like that, but it sounds like to me now that he just wanted the people that he wanted. He was trying to get them out of their contracts. Seems like Shannon probably had the harder time trying to find his new home, and get the numbers where it makes sense and everything. Because it sounds like he was bombarded. When they came up and told him his services was no longer needed after 7 long years, one thing that it shows me is that Skip had too much power in that, in that partnership. It wasn't really a partnership. It was Skip and Shannon, and the names were synonymous, but the behind the scenes stuff, Shannon didn't have enough say on that. And so that's why when Colin Cowherd talked about a partnership with Shannon, Shannon emphasized those words because that is important going forward. Now, you don't understand how important that stuff is until you go through something like that. Ownership, that is. That's what I'm talking about. You don't understand how important that is to have some say, especially when you're in a position to. And Shannon, over the course of time, I remember Skip picking at him about having, more followers than he had when that thing started. But over the course of time, Club Shay Shay put on that LeBron goat mask, and then he brought out his Yak and Miles, and, Club Shay Shay was born, and that really pushed him to another level. They both branched off and tried to do their podcasts. Skip's is not very interesting because it's just hard for one person to hold your attention for that amount of time. Colin Cowherd's been doing it, and, he's kind of perfected it, has his core audience, but it's tough to listen to one person talk, especially if they're not interesting or, it's going to be over an hour or hour and a half, 2 hours. That's just tough to sit through. But Shannon, he interviews guests and he gets their perspective. He talks about their life and different things. So his podcast is like the exact opposite of Skip's, and it's captivating and it holds you in, especially if it's a guest you're interested in and want to see. So I say all that to say I feel like it probably was a time for a separation, and this is just the way that it went about, and there is no right way to do that. It's crazy though that Fox Sports let Shannon go. I saw they put up 700,000 views the first day he was on ESPN, First Take. So that's wild that they riding with Skip to that level. They saw the draw that Shannon was, even though it wasn't keeping up with First Take. 1/3 of the views of First Take on Fox. I mean, that's normal. I know people make a big deal out of the difference, but you're just not going to turn on Fox Sports as much as you turn on ESPN. It's not happening. So it's not even shocking. But the fact that they were even that close meant a lot. Like, I wish they would go back and see what the best sports show period and all of them were putting up. I'm pretty sure they weren't close to, like, SportsCenter and their competitors. So to be 1/3 of that, I felt like Skip and Shannon was doing a good job. So, yeah, man, that's crazy, though. What y'all think about this, man? Them telling Uncle Shay Shay that his services was no longer needed. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.